Alright, hey everybody, my name's Jason Blake. I'm the designer of Cysmic, and today we're going to pack a prototype back into the box. So if you happen to be a reviewer and you're looking through this, the box should look like this, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to break down the player board, and we're going to place the player board in here first individually. So once that's packed well, we're going to grab the player boards. Those are going to go in. We've got our trimmer activity meter, and then we are going to move into our construction boards, resource boards, and then if you'll notice also we've got our beginner factions and our experienced player factions. Those are going to be separated. I'll place those right here on top of the player boards. Those fit just like so. We are going to place our rule book in here because that's relatively flat. Next thing, we're going to place some cards. We've got our espionage cards. We have our discovery cards. Place those here. Our relic cards. And that wonderful launch player, first player token. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to place some of the items that will settle really well, like the crystal ore, the combat markers, and we can also place our fracture bag with our fracture tokens. Don't forget also I've provided a separate bag for the fracture tokens to be independently held within there. Obviously you don't use this during gameplay. I'm sure you figured that out. So once we placed that there, we place the last few things such as dice. We'll let those kind of settle in the corner. Some relic tokens and our trimmer tokens. And then the last thing we're going to place is we're going to place our mountains, our 3D mountains here, our habitats, and then we're just going to place all of our hexes. We're going to place those all across here, try to settle everything, and you should see by now that we have a reasonably flat packed area within that foam cavity. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to take this that I've provided inside the box, and we're going to place this down here, and that is going to be where we place all of our miniatures. I'm going to go through one bag of miniatures very quickly. Inside our main bag, these are all labeled, of course, with the quantity and everything for each bag in the box. The first thing we're going to do, place that colony ship back in here. We can follow that with our harvesters, our power mechs, our 7 control flags, of course our speakers, miners, and soldiers. And then for each player, don't forget that little orange influence cube, your 6 blueprints for your player, and then of course your 10 command cards. Again, those are all listed, and everything should be sorted and ready for the next reviewer. So now that we've got that, I've got all those already separated. We are going to place our 6 bags. I have found that if you release the air out of the bags, that will help dramatically in placing everything in here. We're going to place 2 side by side here in the middle, those 2 this way, and then the same thing, these 2 here. That creates a pretty nicely packed box, and once again I've given you this single sheet of bubble wrap that I use to kind of help hold everything in place. And then of course we have our box lid. So once we have all of that put together, we should have a ready to go box for packing.